Hello, my name is Lucas, this is Bit of Lit, and I'm here to do the Book Buffet 2021 tag, as I was tagged by BookBuds, and right up at the beginning, right up front, I'm going to tag around the weird Mr. Nothing, because he's the only person on BookTube I've actually shared a meal with, and I remember distinctly going to a Cuban restaurant with him. So there you go. Let's start with an appetizer, shall we? A short story, novelette, or novella that you wish could be expanded into a full-length novel. Get a full-length novel sequel. Well, I feel like if I really enjoyed the short story or novelette or novella, then probably I felt it was the perfect length, and probably I didn't think it needed a sequel. But if I were to say a short story, a novelette or a novella that I wish could get another sequel, it would be J.D. Salinger's something with the Glass family. He's got quite a few stories and novelettes, Franny and Zoe, or maybe those are novellas, I don't really know what constitutes a difference between the two. I know it's length, but I don't know which ones they are. Franny and Zoe, Seymour an Introduction, Raise High the Roof Beams, Carpenter, and then some of the short stories about the Glass family. I really love all of those. I don't know why I love them so much. They're just really fascinating to me. So I would like to see a full-length novel around the Glass family. Particularly, I want to say, who's the one that kills himself in A Perfect Day for Banana Fish? When he's younger, and before he does that, would be interesting, I think. Number salad bar. Pick 3 ingredients, plot elements, writing styles, tropes, etc. that would be in your ideal book salad. I want it all. I like to gorge myself with salad. I suppose, I don't totally understand this question. I feel like I have answered this before in a different tag in a way, where I don't remember what the question was exactly, but pick different authors and their strengths to create your perfect novel, or something like that, create your perfect story. So I'm going to say, I'm going to take it in that sense, and I'm going to say, the characters of Virginia Woolf, or the writing style of Virginia Woolf, to show the characters, at least characterization, right? And then maybe who's an author I don't really talk about that I enjoy? The imagination of Isaac Asimov. That might be interesting. He doesn't really have characters to speak of, so it might be nice to have one of his stories with characters that actually have depth. At least the books that I've read, anyway, and the short stories. And not to say that the themes and stuff and the things he writes about don't have depth. Certainly they do, but the characters themselves, no. Not that I've seen. And then, I don't know, in George Saunders' writing style, because I think he's an amazing short story writer, and I just think it could be really good. He's very good at writing characters too, but I think that's what I would go with at this time. DOSA Station, a slim volume that packs a significant punch. A slim volume that snacks a significant punch. I would have to say that, oh, you know what? Here it is. Are you ready for this? Shun Fu's 6 Records of a Floating Life. This is a really wonderful book, very interesting. It's about this man in the early 19th century in China, just sort of talking about his life and his social life and all different kinds of things. And it's got some really interesting insights into his time period and the man himself, and it's a very very interesting reading experience. So I would say that it's quite short, highly recommended. Yeah, it's like 144 pages or something. Pasta, a book that brings you comfort and leaves you fully satisfied and content when you're done with it. There are so many to choose from. If I had to say one that's on my shelf, it would be Moby Dick. That's my favorite novel of all time. I just find it absolutely incredible. I almost enjoy the way that it's like 2 different novels, or 2 different books in one, because it does sort of feel like a historical document as well as a captivating story. And in a way, I think for me, when I read the book, I've never read it abridged, although I want to try, because I imagine it'd be really interesting to have just the plot elements, most important stuff anyway. I'm sure I would zip right through it and find a new love for it, but I really like those other parts, even though they're dry and dull. It makes me feel like I'm out at sea as well. I mean, I'm learning about what whaling was like, I guess, or Melville's perspective on whaling, but I'm also, all I'm thinking about is the whale, or whaling in general, right? And, you know, they are quite tedious and boring in some instances. And I imagine being on a whaling ship when there's no action could be a bit tedious and boring, but also I'm thinking about Moby Dick. So in a way, I'm constantly thinking about, when is this whale going to show up? And I feel like it sort of puts me personally in the mindset of Captain Ahab. I become obsessed with the whale as well. And then when it finally comes, I find out that I was not prepared at all. So I would say that. And I also love the beginning, like etymology, I believe is what it's called. It's a couple pages of different references to whales throughout history and mythology and these kind of things. And I think it has this sort of movie trailer effect in my mind, where I imagine like all these different voices throughout history and throughout time telling me about a whale, and I'm just, I don't really see pictures in my head or hear things in my head when I'm reading, but I have sort of some other kind of sensation going on. But yeah, I'm like hearing the different people talk about the whales throughout time, and maybe a camera is like zooming across the ocean or something like that, and then it gets dark when we get to the end. Or I don't know exactly. It's been a long time since I read it, and again, I don't actually visualize this in my head. It's some other, or hear it, just kind of have some other sensation, and that is how I can approximate it. Beef. A book that's hearty, whether it's long, fills you up with gooey warmth, or was just a slog to get through. You know, I'm gonna have to say that for me, the slog book, for me, even though I'm enjoying it a lot, would have to be Moment in Peking. I finished the second book, and I will talk about that momentarily. I didn't enjoy the second of 3 parts as much because there's a lot of things going on. This is a historical book about the changing times in China in the early 20th century, and you know, it starts with the Boxer Rebellion, but mostly is a family drama in the first part, and you get lots of different elements of how things are changing in China at the time, but as the years pass, it certainly has a Dream of the Red Chamber and War and Peace effect to it, and I really like it. I really like this book a lot, but it's becoming a bit of a slog because the second part is also very much a family drama. More things are sort of happening because of what's going on around the world. More changes with the end of the Qing dynasty and the rise of the Republic of China of the time, and the feuding warlords and these kind of things. And I'm really interested in all of that, but I keep following the family, and I'm just like, go back to that. That's really interesting. The family drama, it's being influenced by all this, but I just want to read about that stuff. But I'm going to keep reading, because next it's going to get to the Sino-Chinese War, Sino-Japanese War, and that's going to be, I'm sure it's going to be interesting. I really like the book, but sometimes I don't want to follow the family. I just want to read the other parts, the history parts, that are more interesting to me. And then when it's not that, it becomes like, I just want to read about that. Bread. Something you and your friends fight over while waiting for dinner is the breadbasket. Talk about a book you fight with other people about. I don't fight about books. I suppose that I've had some disagreements about the quality of certain books. For example, A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man. I had some strong disagreements with Codex Cantina, Crypto and Una, and as well as Noah, From Everyone Who Reads It Must Converse. There's some other Kurt Vonnegut books that I've had some disagreements with people about, and I stand by my opinions, but I've never really fought about those books. It's just their opinion and my opinion. They got more out of those books than I could. They enjoyed those books, and that's what reading's about, so I'm not gonna try and stop them. Alright. Cheese Room, a book with a happy ever after ending. A lot of Neil Gaiman books. That's all. I can't think of any at the moment. There's one that's a really sappy romance where this guy falls, Stardust maybe, is that what it's called? I don't know. He falls in love with somebody, and then he has to go traveling around with Finder or something, and there's witches and stuff. I didn't like that book. Chocolate Fountain. When you read a new series or author, do you dip in and out, or do you read it all back to back? I will dip in and out of authors or series, because you know, you don't want to. I don't like to burn myself out on an author, even if I really enjoy them. I'll put some space between that book and another book, and maybe the next book will be disappointing, and then possibly I'm burnt out on reading their writing style and disappointed by what I'm reading. Doesn't have to be a long break, but there you are, and that is the Book Buffet 2021 tag. Bye.